What's up, lifelong learners? It's your boy, Mr. Heng. And today we're going to talk about the ergonomics of the Canon EOS R5. Since 2006, I've been teaching high school kids how to transform their lives through education. So consider subscribing and join the mission to make the hood all good. It is the camera I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for it for so long to get rid of my 5D Mark III that I sold the 5D Mark III to get the Canon EOS EOS RP. And by far, ergonomics is great, and that's exactly what we're gonna speculate on most, is the ergonomics of the Canon EOS R5. Because they got 5 on it. So I was watching this video right here, and let's blow it up and talk about the right side of the camera. Now, on the right side of the camera where you hold your grip, right? If you're looking at it, you can see that they placed the memory card alongside right here, and now it is supposed to have 2 memory cards. From the looks of that, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna speculate that it's going to be a CF card and 1 SD card. And here's the reason why. The SD card is going to draw in the former users, while the new CF cards is going to be for those professionals who need that speed to be able to write that 12 frames per second, right? Or that 20 frames per second with the electronic shutter. So that is my first speculation regarding just looking at the ergonomics. I mean, it would be amazing if they had 2 C fast cards, but we'll see. Those cards are just expensive, but they got to draw in those older users as well. Let's just scroll through real quick. All right. So if you're looking at it, okay, now if you're looking at this part right here, you're going to see, of course, the lenses, but then I want to talk about the ports. Now, the ports are one of the most important reasons for, vloggers like me who want to be able, and this is like the most annoying thing. Look, when you do this, boop, see that? You see that right there? You see it? You see it? Yeah. Canon, bro. Why don't you look at the GH5 body and notice how they put the microphone jack like way up here where it's out of the way of the flip screen. Now, for those of you who need the HDMI port to export video to an external monitor, because I'm pretty sure that with 8K, you're gonna need some kind of monitor to get the best out of it. I'm pretty sure with 8K, you're gonna need some kind of monitor because, Canon like to, oh, too bad, I don't have a cripple hammer. That was for you. That was for you, Camera Conspiracy. I don't have a cripple hammer to let you know that they're gonna cripple somehow that 8K feature, for sure. The only Canon body that I remember that doesn't have this swivel screen being blocked is the Canon 80D, I believe, because they have it so far away, when you swivel the screen, it doesn't block. That's probably the only main gripe I would have if they plan to redesign the body. Now let's keep spinning this, Let's go to the buttons. That's interesting that so the on and off switch is just like the Canon EOS RP, which is probably like the Canon EOS R as well. Canon has a rate button right here and a menu button right there, which is, I guess, making this a longer body this way. Okay, so width-wise, it's probably gonna be a longer body because they were able to fit 2 buttons up here. And then also looking over to the right over here, the most important thing that they put back in was this joystick. If you look at it, see this joystick right here? That joystick right there is what a lot of people have been asking for, and they're putting it back in. Now I'm gonna go out on a limb here and speculate that they are going to have us be able to touch the screen and move those autofocus points, or use this dial right here, because it's only smart, Canon, if you did that, because you're gonna get people who are gonna stop complaining about not having a joystick. Now, I didn't feel the need for a joystick because the way I set it up to do this, I actually feel that I work faster that way. And I'm able to touch all the way over here instead of click, 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 just holding it. So it's nice, but you don't need it. I don't feel like I need the joystick. But you do you, Canon. Appease those people who want the joystick. And then you have the autofocus button, like right there where you slide your thumb like this. that is awesome ergonomics, because when you need an autofocus, bam, right there, back button focus, boom, smart. I like that. I like that, Canon. Instead of having to shift my finger over here, I like that. And the one thing that I feel that Canon did really well was the way they lined up your thumb with this grip right here. It's just so smart, because a lot of other companies, they don't think about that. Like Sony, come on, Sony. Panasonic, okay, but then Panasonic GH6, remember that little that button right there, and then we were pressing and it would just keep cycling through the display. Yeah, they got smart and was able to turn that off in the firmware update. But still, Canon really thought about that, which is really good. So I think a plus for the joystick and a plus for the where you place the AF button right here. So that's very smart. You also have the quick, very smart to bring that back, because this reminds me of the 5D body, having that quick menu right there. And then you have the dial here that is most likely just for the menu system, because on top up here, you have the aperture. That's smart. I like that. You have the shutter that is up here, and you have the record button as well. But what I'm curious to know is, I don't really care about these two buttons right here. What I'm curious to know is, okay, so why, Canon, if I just keep spinning this, if you look up top, okay, I'm spinning this, you look up top, you see that there's a lock button. This has a lock switch, I guess. I'd rather have a switch. And then there's the record button, which is up there. And then I'm assuming there's also a manual function button up here, just like the RP and the EOS R. What I'm curious to see is if you might change your mind, redesign this, and actually have the white balance, it's ISO, white balance, and exposure compensation. So when you're looking at the RP, let me turn this on. When I push this button right here, I can switch between white balance or, that's it, just white balance and ISO. That's all I'm able to do is white balance and ISO. But what happened to exposure compensation? Maybe, I'm assuming, speculating, they're gonna put it all to the control ring right here of the RF lenses, because all the RF lenses are getting this extra dial on the lenses to be able to control anything that you set it to control. So I thought that was good and maybe annoying for some people, but I thought it was good. If you just spin this thing around, you can see the shutter button in front and the shutter dial in front. Most people don't really think about this, but right here, where you have this, there's a button like right there. That is the depth of field preview button. So I'm assuming that is the depth of field preview button and not the button you press to release the lens. Okay, so I can see the button to press to release the lens is here on the left side, while the depth of field preview button is on the right side by the grip. Yeah, you can see right there, if you're looking at it, you can see the depth of field button being right here. So ergonomically, I think is going to be the best. If you've ever held a Canon EOS R or an RP with a grip, it feels so good in the hand. It just feels so good. In terms of all the internal specs, I'm not gonna really talk about it much because, you know, everyone's like so excited about the 8K, but they forget working with this ergonomics is like probably the best. I don't think Sony has ever figured it out, and Panasonic is kind of there. Olympus, that EM13, sad camera. Yeah, I've worked with the EM5 Mark II, and I like their system. Don't get me wrong, if I did photography only, but I'm a hybrid shooter. And so to me, I feel like the Canon EOS R5 is something I'm willing to drop money on, but I first have to see the GH6. I think the GH6 is gonna come out and just throw the kitchen sink at you. Literally, they just give you everything. Like, no other camera gives you waveform. Think about it. How many mirrorless camera gives you waveform so that you can do exposure properly? Now, what I'm praying for is the GH6 is the GH5 with some extra video codecs and has RGB parade and global shutter. I highly doubt that that's gonna happen, but yeah, global shutter. Oh man, that I would skip the Canon R5 if there was global shutter. But yeah, the GH6 is something to dream about. I know that's coming because when Olympus released their EM1 II, they and Panasonic released the GH5, so they came hand in hand. So I know the GH6 is going to deliver, but have some firmware being held back, because that's what they did with the GH5. And right now I'm shooting with the GH5. I love this camera because to me it's hands down the best hybrid camera on the market. But in terms of if I want photography, I'm definitely gonna go with Canon. And if I want video, I'm going with the Panasonic system for sure, because they give you just like everything. I mean, who else gives you vector scopes? They give you waveform, they give you vector scope, they give you zebras, they give you all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I'm dreaming of the GH6. I'm sorry, I'm like sounding like a fanboy right now, but I'm totally fanboying. Like, they just give you everything. And I'm hoping that the Canon EOS R5 is going to deliver everything that you need for video. What do you guys want to see in the firmware for the Canon EOS R5? Because, hold on, let me just take a drink of my boba here because I need to take a break. I'm fanboying too hard. Tastes so good, make you want to slap your mama. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, you guys let me know what you expect from the firmware of the Canon EOS R5, and leave in the comments down below. It's an awesome camera that I've been waiting for to replace my full frame system. Right now, the RP is just a substitute until something like the R5 comes along. Yeah, that's it. So I'll see you guys later. You know how we do it. Get your hands ready. Rock, paper, peace. Let's hang out again in the next video.